Today I'm going to tell you a story about Mr. Freeman's roses. Now, you may say, that looks like Mrs. Freeman, not Mr. Freeman. So in 2008, September 6th, 2008 to be exact, I wrote this song. It's called Mr. Freeman's Roses. And at the end of this video, I want to play that song for you. And I will play it to the video you're about to watch is in real time. But after this is done, I'm going to do a time-lapse version of the same video. But instead of me talking over it, I'm going to sing over it, this song, Mr. Freeman's Roses. So you don't have to wait to hear the story. I'm going to tell you now. So the story is that these children always loved going to Mrs. Freeman's house, and Mrs. Freeman always invited them into her rose garden. And the rose garden was actually started by Mr. Freeman, but he passed away. And the children were smart enough and savvy enough to understand about passing away. They knew that happened to people. And one day they went to Mrs. Freeman's house, and she used to sit on the porch, and she was not on the porch, and they got scared. And then they found out that she hadn't passed away, but instead she had moved to a nursing home. And so they decided to go visit her at the nursing home. But before they went into her garden and they picked some of Mr. Freeman's roses. And that's the song that I'll play at the end of this video. So hopefully you like it. I'm not going to put any production or anything. I'm just going to grab my guitar and sing the song. You know, 2008 seems like it wasn't that long ago really, but my voice clearly has changed since then. I was never a really great singer anyway. Anyway, let me show you how I painted this. I'm going to show you in real time, and then again at the end of the video, if you're interested, I'm going to do a time-lapse version of this video, the one that's coming up, and I'll sing Mr. Freeman's Roses, okay? So here we go. Okay. Mrs. Freeman's Roses. Mrs. Freeman's Roses was a song, it is a song that I wrote some time ago when Robin and I were still doing music as Robin and the Giant. And I loved that song, and I still love that song. But you know, I never made an illustration for the song. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I think I'm going to sketch it out a little bit. Kind of want to make sure I get Mrs. Freeman in there. Mrs. Freeman's not a lady I really knew. It was a fictional song. But alright, let's see if I can just sketch something in here real quick. Just put a hat. She's in the garden, and she's tending to the roses that Mr. Freeman planted so many years earlier. In the song, which you're going to hear at the end of this, by the way. I'm going to put the song at the end of this and do a little time lapse of this. So in the song, it's revealed that Mrs. Freeman is in a nursing home, and the kids always used to come. The kids from the neighborhood always used to come by and see her sitting on the front porch. And then one day, she wasn't there anymore, and the kids were scared. They were worried that maybe she had passed away, because the kids are not stupid, and kids understand a little bit about life. And so we did this song. Robin and I played the song at the Orange Blossom Opry here, not too far from here. It's not to be confused with the Grand Ole Opry. No, we didn't get that. We weren't that accomplished or successful. But it was a very cool experience for us playing at the Orange Blossom Opry. If you're in the area, if you've ever heard of the Villages, Florida, you might know somebody who lives there maybe. And the Villages has a lot of people that go there to go to the Orange Blossom Opry. It's a nice, really nice venue for music and well-known musicians, usually country or like bluegrass. That's normally what you see there. In Robin, in my case, we were more, well, we were a children's act, you know, but we were like a folk act, I guess, you know, acoustic guitar and just singing. So I don't know what else to tell you. I'm going to sketch this out, as I said, first, and then work around Mrs. Freeman here. I'm just going to sketch Mrs. Freeman and not really everything else, and I'll just kind of work it in there. Oh, my phone is buzzing. It's okay. I have priorities here. My phone is not a priority right now. Answering the phone, you know. Plus, I have caller ID, so I know who it is, and I can call that person back. Okay. There's the hand on this one. There he goes. That's the end of the call. Whoops. I guess that's voicemail. Okay. Mrs. Freeman. Okay, I'm not going to sing. I got it in my head right now, you see. But I don't want to sing it right now. I want to sing it later on. And just deal with me, or bear with me as I sing it, because I haven't sang in a long time. I haven't sung in a long time. I haven't done singing in a long time. I don't know. I don't know what the words should be. Alright, let me try and get some of this color in here. Let's make it real. And then I'll do the details later on. Here we go. Mrs. Freeman. I got the song in my head. I can't stop it. I can't stop it from playing in my head. Oh. Okay. in there. Here we go. Just a little bit, a little hint of what Mrs. Freeman might look like. Let me put this in the jar so it doesn't dry up, dry out. Here is, I'm going to need some small brushes for this job here. So let me move my coffee and all this other stuff. Let me use this small brush right here. A little bit of light blue. Here on a shirt. A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time, right? Little by little, we'll get it done. Just mix it a little bit in there. A little bit at a time. This is Freeman's Roses. Or Mr. Freeman's Roses is what the song is called. Pretty sure. It's been so long, but I did write it. So. A little bit at a time. Get Mrs. Freeman into here. Mrs. Freeman. Do you know, when Robin and I played this song at the Orange Blossom Opry, one of the performances, we did it more than once, but one of the times we went there, a lady pulled us over to the side and said, that was a song from my mother because my mother was named Freeman. Isn't that interesting? And I always wondered about that. I mean, I wondered if the story was the same, like in the song. The story is about how Mr. Freeman always planted these roses, and after he died, Mrs. Freeman made sure that they stayed, that the garden stayed there. You know? I kind of like this way of doing it, by the way. I like this this impasto way of putting on paint thick. I really do. Here we go. I like the idea of the light shining on her like that. That's kind of cool. Here we go. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention the underpainting on today's painting. I purposely did it with a bluish green, a bluish gray look. No real reason other than I just wanted to try it because I so frequently use orange and reds and sometimes browns, but I wanted to try. I wanted to see how it would look if I used blue as an underpainting. And so far I'm liking the way it's looking. Yeah, so far I'm liking it. A lot of this is going to be covered by roses. Okay. So now let me clean the brush. I got a clean brush. And see if I can get a small brush. Small one. There's a small one. Ah, that's a nice small one. Okay. I just need a small brush here. I think this one will work. All right, let me get some of this now. Trying to get it. Gotta be very careful here. bit of darkness here. A little shadow here. And a little bit over here too. Let me get a little bit of raw umber. Add some raw umber to the mix. For under that hat, you know, something up here needs to be darker, but not dark blue, just maybe a little bit of hair here. Tiny little bit to accentuate her eye a little bit. Just a touch. Just a touch right there. Right there. Here we go. Let's get some light on here. We can always take care of that later. Okay, Mrs. Freeman. Right now what I have to do, I have a spray bottle of water. I don't want this paint to dry. I want this to stay wet, so I'll just cover it a little bit. I know some people use wet paper towels to do that. But I'm going to take a little break, turn off the camera, just to step away from it for a while, and I'll be back. Okay, let's get back to work now. I want to use a flat brush. Well, that's a good one, I think. It's got that little point on it, you see? That little angle, that'll make it easier to try to get in there. So what I want to do is So I have Payne's gray right here. Now I'm going to mix it with some of this green, make it very, very dark green behind her. Actually make it almost completely black. Let me just get up to her face. Oh, I messed it up. You see what I did? I messed it up. I have to fix her face now. Yeah, that's not good. Well, that's how it works, you know. It's a constant fixing when you're doing painting. Let me get this part in here, then I'll fix her face. I'll go this side of her hat too. Make her hat a little bit smaller. Just a little bit. Just curve it in a little sooner. I don't think I messed up her face too bad, but I'm not sure. You know, maybe I didn't mess it up at all. Maybe I'll keep it that way. I want these hedges in the background. I'm going to try to go right down to here about. So this is the hedges behind her, like the next yard over. Did you ever have a house like that? We had hedges between your yard and your neighbor's yard. Take it all the way to the top here. Kind of an angle there. I think it's more interesting when paintings have angles in them and angled lines. So it's almost a subliminal thing, I think. I'm just trying to mix green with Payne's gray. That's really all I'm doing here. Just kind of blocking it in. Keeping it very thick, very impasto. Am I saying that right? Impasto, right? Just kind of doing a little bit of basic, what do you call it again? Oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Basic perspective. That's the word. Basic perspective. You know, we have a vanishing point. I don't subscribe to that 100%. I've got, I mean, as a starting point, it's good, but not, you know, the vanishing point doesn't dictate the landscape. It's the opposite. The landscape dictates the vanishing point. Always. And everything. Just look at the world around you. You'll see that, but it's, oh my gosh. Should I try to explain what I mean? I'm not so sure. Well, like if you look at, okay, if you create I'll try my best here. If you have and you know, without showing you, just talking about it, it might not be so good, but if you have a straight line, let's say, that represents the horizon, and you put 1, 2 dots on the picture, a vanishing point on the horizon or above the horizon or anything like that, as a way to dictate, I hate to use that word dictate, but as a way to demonstrate, maybe that's the word, where something is going to go, like where every building is going to angle towards. It's not really true, because unless the city that you're painting a picture of was done completely horizontal and vertical and everything was all parallel to each other, it's the buildings that point to the horizon, not the horizon that points to the buildings. And so I know it's a good starting point. It's a good way to sort of kind of understand perspective, but the truth is you have to figure out where the vanishing point is for each thing, not just for one vanishing point that applies to everything. Obviously buildings aren't always parallel, aren't always, you know what I'm saying? So I think did I explain it enough? Most of you guys are kind of advanced on art, so I'm sure that you've already gone through these ideas of your own, or maybe somebody else expressed them to you or shared them with you. But I just think that early in art classes they give you the whole perspective thing as one vanishing point dictates everything else in the landscape, and it's not true. It's not true for trees, it's not true for buildings, it's not true for people, you know. So there's my 2 cents with that subject. These are the hedges, and this is very impressionistic. Just giving those hedges some texture. Put some blues in there, make it look a little bit cooler. Now that's something that they teach you in school that does really hold true. It's using blue as a way to cool something down. Although again, a lot of it has to do with comparisons or relativity. It's almost like an Einstein thing, isn't it? Where things have to be relatively cool compared to everything else, relatively warm, that kind of thing. There's the background hedges. All right, let's see what we can do here now. Let me get a clean brush because that's looking green. We don't want green there. We want blue for the sky. It's already blue, but I want it lighter. Maybe even some trees over the hedges that you can see in the neighboring yards. There's the dry brush technique again. It always finds a way into my paintings. Whoops. Whoops. Got some yellow in there. Didn't want that. Alright, let me mute this green here. And put some trees back there. Just some trees peeking over the edge there. Okay, this is Freeman. Mr. Freeman's roses. That's what we're trying to accomplish here. Here we go. That's not too bad. A little bit more yellow there. I get some sunlight happening on that, on the top of that hedge right there. Here we go. You know what? Maybe I'm not sure about her nose. Let me. Maybe I could do something with that. Maybe a little bit more. What do you think? Does it look alright? Well, I might have to come back to it, but right now it's gonna have to do. I think it looks okay. Okay. All right, now let's take a medium-sized brush. Get some of this sidewalk here. I don't know, I'm just kind of making it up as I go along with it. I can always go back. Tool right there will be okay. I can fix that. I think that's an easy fix. Here we go. I'll come back and fix those hands. They're not quite the way I want them to be. Alright, let me get another brush. And again, a medium-sized brush is good. Let me get some yellow and some green and make it very light green. Get it really dark. go. Now a little bit more dark over here. Okay, get some more Payne's gray. And well, that's good enough right there. Okay, now let me fix her hand on this side. Need a small brush. Let me fix that hand. Okay, now let's get that tool that she's working with a little bit more defined. there, right here. Not sure what she's holding. I don't think it matters. A rake or a hoe or something. A lot of this is going to be covered up anyway. There. There's her rake or hoe or whatever that is. Alright, I'm going to take a break and I'll be right back. Okay, now I want to put some flowers over there. I'm going to start with the leaves and then some over here. So let me start with the ones in the shadow. I'm not really going to do too much. I'm just going to try to make a little bit of blue-greenish. Yeah, that works. Just little hints of leaves in the shade. And we'll put flowers on it in a little bit. Okay, now I want to put, well, that's really all I need to do. It looks pretty good. And then what I want to do is I want to take, well, let me get some more yellow. I want to put lots of light yellow and probably a mixture of yellow and white and green. Or yellow and white and light blue. And make some leaves here. So let's try this. Very light. Let's put some white in there to soften it up. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that look. Lots of leaves in here. Just use the point of the brush to make a pointed leaf and all nice and yellowish, greenish, whitish. A mixture of green and white and yellow. Just trying to there's a leaf. Some of them come out perfect and some aren't so perfect, but that's okay. Just trying to get some way up here. Some tall leaves. Because once you get these leaves in, then then it's Mrs. Freeman's roses or Mr. Freeman's roses. Then it's the roses. Looking forward to putting the roses in there. It's kind of like putting a reflection on somebody's eye. It's like the last thing you do, and it's just so rewarding. Let's put some over here too. The sunlight is catching some of these. Over there. go. How's that look? Good. Like a lot of leaves, right? A lot of leaves. Alright, let's get another brush. And now the scary part is putting the flowers on those leaves. So let's start with some red. Some pinkish red. Pinkish red. Make it really pink, I guess. All right, here we go. There's a rose. There's a rose. Here's a rose. Mrs. Freeman's roses. None of us kids ever knew the man, but Mrs. Freeman always talked about the two of them. And then I'm going to put some darker red in the middle of them. Back to the brighter red, pink. Now, let's take some of that red and add it to the middle. Little petals. Very impressionistic, so it's okay. It's kind of what I'm doing lately, a lot of impressionism. What do you think? I don't think I need to add anything else. I think I'm done. All right, let me let it dry and I'll show you the song. Mr. Freeman's Roses. All right, it's time for me to sing the song. Again, it's called Mr. Freeman's Roses, and it'll be over the time-lapse version of the video you just saw. I wrote this in 2008, and early in the video I called it Mrs. Freeman's Roses. It's actually Mr. Freeman's Roses, but it's about Mrs. Freeman. You'll see. Hopefully the song tells the story. Here we go. Mrs. Freeman gave us a scare. She used to sit outside, but she's no longer there. She had the most amazing garden in our town, and roses were her specialty. Mrs. Freeman can no longer live alone, but she's okay, they say, and she's living in a home with lots of grandmas doing lots of grandma things, and we'll be seeing her today. Before we go, we'll get some roses from her garden. They will make her so happy to know garden still grows with Mr. Freeman's roses. None of us kids ever knew the man, but Mrs. Freeman always talked about the two of them. They had the most amazing story, she would say, while working in her garden. She'd say they moved into their little home when he retired and the children were all grown. The Freemans always welcomed guests into their garden, and we'll be seeing her today. Before we go, we'll get some roses from her garden. They will make her so happy to know her garden still grows with Mr. Freeman's roses. Her garden still grows with Mr. Freeman's roses. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.